Welcome to another edition of Dolphins All Access, and finally, for the first time in 3 weeks, we're actually at Dolphins facility again. So, Goldie, it's good to be back. The Dolphins, they obviously have the Cowboys this week. Let's dive right into the matchup. If there's two things Mike McDaniel loves, he loves questions about the opponent, and he loves edge rushers. He's going to get a good one in Micah Parsons this week. How much does that matchup concern you, considering the change at offensive line we see each and every week with this team?
Let's hope we have the tackles, because that'll help. If you have Austin Jackson on that right side and Teron Armstead, who's back over on that left side. But it's always a concern when you play a guy that really is one of the great edge rushers in the NFL in Parsons. It's a great motor. He's aggressive. He's excellent against the run. He can get against up, and rush the quarterback. So this guy can do a little bit of everything. He's a great player. And I just love the matchup, even though, it's kind of not a matchup, but they're on the field together. But Bradley Chubb and the level he's playing at against Parsons, and I guess like 90% of America is going to watch this game on Christmas Eve. It's a great matchup, and obviously it's a concern when you play Parsons and a very aggressive Dallas defense, which is a very good unit. Last week absolved because they got blown out by the Bills.
I'm glad you mentioned how aggressive they are, because they're one of the top teams in terms of forcing turnovers. Tua, though, has not committed an interception in the last 3 weeks. I did it.
Michael,
yes.
Michael.
And for those wondering at home who asked Mike McDaniel that question, it was me. So I'm not trying to jinx him, but am trying to figure out maybe what's changed with Tua. Look, interceptions are going to happen in the league. We know that. The Tom Brady throw them. It's fine. Interceptions are okay. They happen. But to be that clean for this amount of games in a row, did it tell you something about maybe the play calling, or maybe Tua's decision-making maybe not being as aggressive? Or is this just him continuing to grow as a quarterback?
A, B, and C.
C. Right,
and I'll throw in a D. And again, every game is tough. Teams lose all the time. Opponents were a little bit easier for him. Washington, Tennessee, and then the Jets. But still, Jets do have a good defense. I think it's all those things. He's in his fourth year. He's in his second year under Mike McDaniel. Things did not go well last December for him and the team while he was still playing before he got hurt in the Christmas Day game against Green Bay. So I think it's a little bit of everything. Growing as a quarterback, understanding there's a mistake made. Mike McDaniel's a terrific person when Tua makes a mistake, because there's no screaming and yelling on that sideline. Usually it's McDaniel blaming himself, saying, hey, I should have called a better play. And he knows Tua wants to be perfect. So I think it's all those things. And the play calling has been key. After the game before the Washington game, they started getting rid of that football, a lot quicker with the line being banged up. And, look, against the Jets Black Friday, the last time he threw a pick, he took a couple of shots there. And maybe felt comfortable enough to do it. This week, and look, they won the last 3 games, and he probably would have gotten away with it if he threw a pick or two. This week, and really moving forward the rest of the season into the playoffs, he's going to have to be clean the way he has been the last 3 games.
Yeah, because Deron Bland on the other side for the Cowboys, leading the league in interceptions. So, that just always will be in the back of your mind going into this week. All right, let's talk about the game, what you think happens, because, look, the Dolphins are up against it right now. They win. They're in the playoffs. They wouldn't have clinched the AFC East or anything yet. Obviously, the 1 seed still up for grabs. But how do you think this turns out? There are some stakes in this. Miami could at least, unleash a little bit of the load off their shoulders, knowing that, hey, at least we're in the postseason.
Oh, no question about that. Plus, they'd have that quality win,
Yes.
And look, we talk to players, some of them say, for the confidence, we like to have one of those wins. They really don't have one of those wins yet this year. Not their fault. They play the schedule. They dropped the games against the tough team, the three real tough teams. But they did the job in all the other games, whereas the Bills lost to some of those teams, and that's why they're 2 games behind. Now, I'm guessing you have no confidence in the Chargers on Saturday night to knock off Buffalo. They're not going to.
The Bills scare me. The Bills scare me right now.
100%. They always did. They've gotten their game together. So it's a huge game for the Dolphins. You can take nothing for granted. And now they really get into the teeth of it. 3 quarterbacks, the final 3 games, Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks, MVPs in these 3 guys. It's a huge challenge. And this is one of those stepping stone games. And this is one of those, in Mike McDaniel's opinion, hey, this is why you play, and it's another opportunity. They get this win, they're looking in real good shape, because then the magic number, if Buffalo wins Saturday, magic number is 1 to clinch the division. You have an opportunity to home field, and like you say, it's over and done with. A little bit of a load off the shoulder. You're in the playoffs.
Yeah, look, the playoffs may start in about a month, but really, as you mentioned, this gauntlet, it's going to feel like playoff football around here. December, January, and then hopefully we're talking about something in February. But we don't, after the Titans game, there's no looking ahead.
Who headed to Vegas, baby?
Past anything. I hope so. All right, Goldie, thanks so much, and thanks for joining us on another edition of Dolphins All Access.